Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Marvel Rivals Championship match. We are still here in Asia. We are still here in Season 0. We are still here on console. It is Doom's Rise, and we are now in the lower bracket round 12. So, an update. If you watched yesterday's video, you will know that the other lower bracket round 12 match, Orbit Clan versus Phasmophobes, ended in a forfeit. So Phasmophobes move on to the lower bracket quarterfinals. But this match is our other lower bracket round 12 game, and the games after that, tomorrow and the day after, will be the upper bracket semi-finals. So, on the left, we have Asai.net, and on the right, it is OCE Yungins. Dr. Strange and Hela going to be the first to be removed. I'm still sick, in case you can't tell by hearing. Keep it up. New medication. Who knows whether it's helping? It's been 2 days. We'll see if I'm able to heal up quickly, because that would be very nice. Let's talk about the paths the teams took to get here. Asai.net got to the upper bracket quarterfinals, but were then knocked down by PS4 Group. They found themselves against the ANZ Falcons, which they beat out in a 3-1 to take them into this matchup. OCE Yungins, they started in the lower bracket, taking out Mecha Men, and then taking out the team from the upper bracket, Ouroboros, in a 3-2. So we've got a lower bracket team versus a team that came from the upper bracket 1 round later. Defense for Asai.net, attack for Yungins. Going to see Magneto and Luna Snow, the ones that protected, and we remove the Flyers, or at least the Flyers that were actually played in Season 0. We have the Star-Lord and the Iron Man going to be taken away here. Let's get through some of our housekeeping. You're going to see keyboard and mouse controls. Because I am observing on keyboard and mouse, the players are playing on controllers. It's just how the observer system works. You'll see a little bit of stuttering at the start of the game. That is because I am observing from Europe. And as such, the observer system doesn't really like that as much, and gives a little bit of stutter at the beginning of all the games. And finally, if you enjoy these casts, I do them purely based on AdSense and the donations from lovely people like yourselves. The super chats are super appreciated. And of course, becoming a member like Jazz Prime to support the channel every month. I release a cast a day now for almost 2 months. We're approaching the 2nd month pretty quickly at this point. So if you like what I'm doing and want me to be able to keep doing it, then any bit of support is helpful. I have no sponsors and I'm not being paid by Marvel. Let's jump into the first game. On the left-hand side, Asai.net with Nap Time on the Magneto. Sus Or on the Black Panther. Kiwis going to be playing the Thor. Opants will be on the Mantis. Rangaliv's Matt on Hawkeye. And Cowses, usually the Black Panther player, but this time they are on the Loki. Another swap up for Asai.net here. And OCE Yungins on the attack here with Notorious Don playing the Luna Snow. Mr. Piglet will be playing the Cloak and Dagger. Chris Lammy going to be on that Winter Soldier. Top D's TTV going to be on the Groot. Crypts, another Black Panther player, playing the Black Panther. And OVD will be on the Psylocke as Top D's taken out. Nap Time. Achieving in the last series, definitely worth watching, a 70k Magneto damage game. Not tanking, damage. Nap Time is terrifying on the Master of Magnetism, so we'll definitely be keeping an eye on them. Already, they've pushed back Yungins very far here, really trying to zone them away from the objective, keep them off the point. This is a best of 5, by the way. Good knockback onto Top D's. The zoning, quite effective at this point. They're not getting any distance here. Top D's taken down once again, as we're going to see Yungins without their front line going for the wraparound here. But Chris Lammy still trying to make some space, still trying to zone away. Meteor M for Map Time finds no one this time though. So Chris Lammy gonna still be the one, but getting chased down and picked off by Sus on the flank here. Nap Time picks off Notorious Don. And this is currently brutal. This is the furthest back I have seen a defense from any team on the symbiotic surface here. The pressure is good by Sus, continuing to dive the backline. We've got a little bit of Sus we talked about earlier here, but they haven't even made it to the point yet. They've barely made it halfway to the point. Kiwis picks up a double. With that God of Thunder, grabs another OBD down by Sus. Asai.net. Finally, someone has reached the point, trying to buy that little bit of extra time. Crypts going to be the one dancing in and out, takes a little bit of damage. Currently, only a Loki clone on the point, so just going to sneak it. Take out the clone. But there's the real one. You got a 1v1 versus Loki here, Crypts. You can do it. Yes, you can. Takes out Calzes, and that's going to get them the first third of the point here. But now, need to get out of there, bought some space, but they're still going to be taken down. 2 members of Asai down in exchange for 2 of Yungins. Doesn't butterfly was used. Meteor M, beautiful choke point, gets the double with the help of Sus Notorious Don, and OBD finished off by Naptime, giving them a double. Top D's getting melted, once again isolated thanks to the sleep from Opans. 1/3 of a cap done, and that was only because of how far up Asai were actually pushed. And once again, they step up far. Naptime waiting for some healing. Loki healing gonna come in, top and back up here. The zoning right now is absolutely insane. Kiwis on the flank, trying to catch anyone who tries to step up. You see a little bit of a move there by Crypts, trying to make some space for the team by causing distraction, which seems to have worked. Past descent with the Fate of both worlds being counted out by the Soul Rejuvenation here. Trying to sustain through it. Crypts is desperately trying to pick off the backline members, but can't seem to find any finishing blows. Rangolin's Mat was targeted, pushing in onto it, finally takes one down. Calzes gonna go for the God of Mischief, gonna steal the opponent's supporting ability here, taking their Fate of both worlds, makes their way back in onto the point. We're about halfway through point number 2. Meteor M takes out Mr. Piglet, and once again Top D's is left completely alone. OBD trying to buy some time on the point, has to come out of invisibility though in order to not cancel the point there, and Chris Slammy does not make it in time. Exactly 50%. 0 points, but 50% capture progress. And OCE Yungins, they have their work cut out for them here, because that was brutal there. Asai.net setting up and creating a bulwark outside of the objective that had to be dove past, and Yungins were unable to break it. But it's not unwinnable. Keeping them at 0.1 of capture is enough here. Although there's some interesting stuff happening right now. I don't know if it'll make it out of base, but Naptime, the Magneto, is currently on the Black Widow. This would be unexpected. But they've got the opportunity to be a little more experimental here. They've got a little bit of a buffer. Everything else is staying pretty much the same, so I think we'll probably see Naptime swap back to a Vanguard here. Yungins, despite what just happened, not adjusting their team at all. They're going to just try and sustain and delay it. With a solo frontline triple DPS.
3, 2, 1.
Winter Soldier, Black Panther, and Naptime is, in fact, going with the Black Widow. And, of course, Psylocke is what I was going to say. I was just checking to see if they had actually locked this in, and the answer is yes. Running a solo Vanguard composition of their own. Triple duelist. Regeneration Domain coming up. Naptime pushing up, trying to find the angles. Rangolin's Mat has taken out Chris Slammy, and already 3 members are down here. Mr. Piglet makes it 4, and there is no one on the point. Who is left to defend this? Crypts trying to make it in, will take out Naptime. Chris Slammy isn't there, Mr. Piglet isn't there. It's a clean first map. Asai.net in 42 seconds claimed that. Nap Time getting the MVP with the Black Widow, but again, the Magneto, I feel, was probably one of the big factors in that, due to the fact that they did 10k damage! They topped the damage again! The Black Widow may have been the buffer they needed to carry that over the edge, but still! It's crazy here. 5k damage blocked. Yungins able to topple over and take the most damage blocked on the side of Asai.net, getting 6.8k as being the only player on that team to double Vanguard. Round 1 and 2. But, unsurprisingly, the solo Vanguard on the side of OCE Yungins, 19k damage blocked. Crazy value there. No one got close to the damage done by Nap Time. 7k is the closest by Rangaliv's Matt. Top healing, Mr. Piglet. 10k, auto-targeting heals, pretty good. 8k by Notorious Don, also keeping up. Opans and Cowses, you can see there's not a lot of damage blocks across the board here. They didn't need to heal that much. Alright, well, I hope you are all enjoying. That was round number 1. I may go to get to rest my throat very quickly today if it keeps going at this rate. But it's not over yet. Yungins have shown they can fight back from what seems like a rough position before. Their match versus Ouroboros, I believe, was a reverse sweep. In fact, I'm double checking that now. Yes, it was. So Yungins have shown they know how to fight from behind. Let's see if they're able to execute it as we get set up for map number 2. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, ring that little bell. Hit the join button. Hit the thanks button if you want to monetarily support. What else? What am I missing? Check out the comments section, the description. It has a link to all my socials. Follow me on Blue Sky. I am on Twitter, just because that's where, unfortunately, a lot of the esports are still congregated. I hope the swap continues. But I am there, so you can follow me on there. The link is there. But follow me on Blue Sky. I'm a little more active over there because I prefer it over there. It's less sad. So yeah, check out all the socials in there, follow me over there, and let's get set up for map number 2.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, some loose shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift. Oh,
I feel like I'm losing my mind.
And we are here with map number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Yggdrasil Path is the map. We're on convoy once again. Asai.net will be on defense and Yungins will be starting on attack just like last time. A well-deserved Magneto ban from Yungins. They are done with Nap Time, just topping the stats every game. So they're taken away. Luna Snow and Dr. Strange going to be locked in now. And Opad seems to be the Strange player for Asai.net, as we've seen them do this before. When Nap Time is the Magneto player, Opad seems to be the Strange player, and they sort of mix the team up that way. Going to see the Hawkeye. Banned away by Yungins. Yungins really target banning Asai.net this time. Whereas Asai don't appear to be reacting yet. Just sticking to their plan so far. Yep, exactly the same bans as last time here.
The right heroes could make all the difference.
Different protection though. This does mean that Iron Man has made it through the ban phase, and you can see immediately Kiwis. They seem to prefer Thor, but more than happy to bust out the Hulk when need be. Rangaliv's Matt, happy to take advantage of that, getting the full Gamma team up. Not the same for Yungins. They are going to go for the double soldier play with no rocket or anything for a team-up. They're just running the two together. Very few team-ups at all, in fact, for the side of Yungins, but they're still going to bust it out. They've got now the Doctor Strange and the Groot. Now, on defense, that is solid. They've got so much protection now for their team. I can see this working very well in their favor. Nap time, moving over to the strategist role, as we've said. Going to be on Lunar Snow. Kals is sticking with the Loki here, and Sus is going to be the one sticking with the Black Panther. I feel like in terms of drafts, SI.net is more synergistic. It definitely has a little more like ability to work together. But Yungins, they have a really good like force the issue push in a frontline draft. They have consistent damage, good ability to hit at long range to try and pressure onto Rangaliv's mat. There's some potential here. Unibeam with the Gamma Power, going to start to siege in. Already. Good positioning as well. Utilizing the walls. Needs a little bit of that healing. Has that Lunar Snow buff heals. Taking the shots. Chris Slammy wrapping around. Trying to find the right angles. In fact, going to get a little bit of damage. Forces Rangaliv's mat to back around the wall here. But great positioning once again. Moving to a spot where they have the most cover. Now moving over to the left as they start to make it around the corner to the next point of cover. Great positioning down low to make sure that they are not picked off here. But Kiwi's going to be popped down. It's a puny banner as Yungins making the distance this time. Trying to get onto Ranga. Dropping him low. Gets the finishing blow here. But Ranga got a double elimination during that. The push up. With Groot Walls now into Strategist. Gets the zone picked off by Opans. Sus setting up the trapping position. Trying to find anyone alone who might be a good target. Trying to punish him. Soldier's Fist is beautiful, but Kiwis dives in with the bastard sent by Sus. They push them all the way back to spawn again. Will back away as Kiwis picks up the double and forces Groot back into the spawn. Radioactive lockdown for the Exile. SI.net. A little bit shakier than game number one, but they're still putting on quite the performance here. Straggling Prism at the ready for top Ds. Trying to hold the line, trusting their team can deal with the Hulk. Walls up, turns around to assist them, to protect them. Might have to utilize some more spawn ability, some more spawn hiding here. In order to make sure they're not picked off. Kiwi's diving back in again. Pop back into regular Bruce. Unbreakable Guard will back out as Rangaliv's mat also forced to retreat. Top D's once again gonna be the one stepping up. Opans did get taken down. Is respawning, but is quite far out here. You can see there, SI.net playing further back. A little bit nervous. Don't want to get caught out without one of their main frontliners here as Yungins taking advantage and trying to move up. Invisible Pulse Cannon comes in, finds Mr. Piglet. I tried to jump into their view, but they were already eliminated here. Portal comes out by Opans to get them all here. This may allow Rangaliv's mat to reinforce quick enough. Yes, they do. They make it through the portal, and they'll be rejoining their team, but it's not really needed, as once again, Kiwis has forced everyone back to spawn. Pressuring up, another lockdown onto Chris Slammy, forcing them into spawn, jumping out, 200 health left. Makes it out, grabs a map heal to top him up. Aya Magamoto at the ready for Opans with 46 seconds left. Slow walk to hide the footsteps from above. Aya Magamoto, that's going to be a triple right off the bat. Down goes Phantom. Top D's taken out, and Notorious retreats back to spawn once again. 30 seconds left, one final push for Yungins, but they do have 4 ultimates at the ready. Past Descent and Fate of Both Worlds is all that is ready for Asai. Finally, we get Hulk Smash. They're going to try and hold them in spawn. Not even going to let them get to the point. Going to try and take it. Groot going to get stunned out here, locking them down, giving everything they have. Phantom is trying to step up, at least touching the cart so that they get the overtime here. Crypt with the final judgment, grabs the double, looking to make it a triple that cannot find the targets here. With the fate of both worlds, they are able to get enough eliminations there to get onto that cart, and Asai.net may have got a little over-aggressive here. Chris Slammy tries to utilize a reset here. Almost there. They might get it in overtime here. Hulk for the first delay. Invincible Pulse Cannon shut down by Crypt, but Crypt is going to fall in exchange. Bound Eternal Bond coming out from Mr. Piglet to try and get the protection for their teams. They can try and counter push through. Phantom, Aya Magamoto trying to turn it onto Opans to focus down the tanks. But they can't find the angle. Calzes will fall though. They finally get one, get two. Nap time falls. Sus. It's up to them for the resets here, but they're going to back out. They know they can't take this alone. They will back away, and in overtime, Yungins will get point one. Sus able to get one. Fast Descent makes it 3, 4! And Sus opening up this next stage, this stage number 2, with a triple elimination. Continuously trying to stagger the members of Yungins. Back into standard Hulk form. Ultimates. Top Ds. Currently the only one available, but Aya Magamoto almost available for Opans here. Gonna try and push up. Walls trapping Opans here. Regeneration Domain will shut that down. Ragaliv's Matt getting out on 1 hit point here. Radioactive lockdown. There's the struggling prison. Gets Iron Man in it, but immediately Opans moving into body block, shuts it down. Fate of both worlds going to be dropped by nap time as well to try and tank it out. There comes the Eternal Bond to try and buy time, but it's not enough to heal out Top Tees or Chris Slammy, who has moved over to the side like Invincible Pulse Cannon. Not enough for the elimination, but they get it with Opans anyway. 1 minute 15 left, forced off the point, chasing them down with Kiwis on the Hulk, who's soloing people right now. Rotating back to their team to get topped up. Has Hulk smashed. Here comes the clone. Calzes as Iron Man. Invincible Pulse Cannon blocked by Strange though. Finds nothing, but fancy. We love to see it. We don't see that too often. Final Judgment melting through him there. Nicely done. Yungins eating their way through the front line, and they clean house here. Sus forced to back out. Zipline for the chase. Does not find it. Sus is gold. Trying to find him. Nope, they're already gone, Crypt. The paranoia has set in. Sus deep in the backline right now, but that is another one fight by Yungins as that car continues to move up. Ranker lives dropped low again. The 1v1. Oh, reinforcements coming in. No, Sus gets taken out by Crypt. Trying to take it here. Kiwis. Aya Magamoto with the cannon into the backline. Doesn't find as many as they would like, but they're able to take out Mr. Piglet with it. Counter Aya Magamoto, stunning out the backline, but Opans is here to protect their team. Hulk comes in with the smash, swinging them around on overtime. And it's just going to be the Doctor Strange and the Lunar Snow left. No one going to be able to tank through that, though. Outnumbered, outdamaged. And Asai hold it at 1 point and just under 100 meters.
0, 2, 1. Time to switch things up, including which side you're on. You'll need a top-notch
Asai
team to win this one.
doing a pretty solid job there, but Yungins, much better push than last time. They got some good momentum this time. And I feel like Asai.net may be getting a little overconfident here. They're burning abilities, doing stuff a little bit out of time with when it might be the best used in terms of map control. They might be a little overconfident after game number 1. That might be something that OCE Yungins are able to take advantage of. These are all maybes, of course. We do not live inside the players' heads. We do not know for sure They could just be locked in, and I am just a caster. I am not an expert.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
My only claim to fame is having watched more of this game than probably most people. Full stop. And I've certainly casted more of it. 100% gonna have the most casts of this game by now, surely. Surely. Unless there's someone out there who's releasing 2 casts a day, in which case it is time for me to cry.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yungins on the defense. Running back the same strategy again. Now this this composition's really good for defense. Got big setup, the ability to pull people out of front lines. They're gonna give it their best, pushing in. Trying to zone the back off the point. Rangaliv's map picked off to the side here. Opans trying to step up, trying to make their way onto the point as Top D's and Phantom trying to hold that front line, but Chris Slammy taken out the back line by Sus. Opans gets cripped, and while they're zoning for their team, Opans is acting like an assassin and is in the back line, cleaning house, and Yungins are gonna be blasted back, not just through the first point, almost back to spawn. The cards moving in. Hi. Opans? What? No. Excuse me. You ignored him or didn't even notice for the first half of that fight, and you still won the 1v1? Opans! Are you kidding me? That's not okay. Someone arrest this man, or woman, or in between, or anything else. Pushing forward, getting focused down, picked off Sus in the back line, is able to take down Crips though. And once again, forcing them back to the choke point. The cart is slowly moving in, but they have pushed them far. Asai.net looking like they're re-rotating in from their enemy spawn, but no, they've just zoned them out that far here. Portal at the ready. Phantom could try and make a play here if they start to get a little bit close. Blocking Portal to prevent reinforcements here, but most of the team is already here. Final Judgment to try and melt through. Finds the Iron Man and shuts down the Invincible Pulse Cannon into the backline, and that Punisher roll paying off once again. And Yungins, at the last few meters, are able to clean it out. 7 meters to go. Asai.net, 4 minutes to get 7 meters. Crips not making much use of this culling turret. Wanting to stay mobile, not wanting to get poked away by like an Iron Man or a Black Panther from behind. Poking in from the side, you can hear Rangaliv's map. Rotating from the side here, all the way from behind. Trying to unibeam, but that is point blank. Aya Magamoto stuns out 2. Onto Chris Slammy, takes them down. Phantom tanking through, strangling Prison, trying to shut them down, but getting focused down here. There's a fate of both worlds coming in from the side of Naptime, meaning Yungins are getting the tanking they want here. Bastard Sem picks up the double, and Yungins are evaporating here. The portal could come out, but it's not even going to make it in time as that cart is moving forward. Phantom, there's nothing they can do. They're not even going to make it. They're going to make it just out this door before that point goes down, unless someone can touch that point. Portaling. Someone has managed to touch the point. Portal for reinforcements. Last-ditch effort. Kiwis holding the line for the moment. Chris Slammy with the crack and impact. Trying to find anyone to get those resets. Not able to do so. Going down. Final Judgment from the spawn. Melting through them. Gets Luna Snow. Nap time going down, but no one's touching the point. 2-0. Currently in favor of Asai.net. Holding a strong lead right now. Kiwis diving so deep, picking up eliminations. 17 final hits for Opans and Sus, 16 for Kiwis. 17k damage, 90k damage, 21k damage. Much higher DPS game than last time. Doing such good work here. Somehow Naptime got 12k damage and 28k healing. Second highest in the game behind Notorious Don, who got 31k. Impressive work. Crips really putting the team on their back this time. 19k damage, 17 final hits. Did get eliminated the most though. Topped damage, but was just getting focused down mostly by Sus and Opans at several points. Top damage blocked. Actually a lot closer this time. 33k for Kiwis. 19k for Opans. Quite low here. Phantom, 34. Top D's, 32. And we find ourselves, ladies and gentlemen, and anyone in between, in a familiar situation. We see OCE Yungins 2-0 down in a best of 5. Tournament life on the line. Last time, they were able to pull off the reverse sweep. Can they pull off the miracle again? Or will we be seeing ASI.net continuing their incredible lower bracket run? Let's find out as we're going to head to a quick break. If you don't have YouTube Premium, then please enjoy the ads. Consider turning off your ad block, because this is the only way I get income from these casts. So consider maybe deactivating it just for this channel. Turn it back on afterwards. Would be appreciated. And of course, leave a comment saying what are your favorite characters? Who do you really want to see in Season 1? Console, of course, has very different character priority, as we can see most of the time, to PC. We see a lot more Jeff, we see a lot more Penny, we see a lot of characters like that, a lot more Punisher on console than we do on PC. So leave a comment. Who in Season 1 would you like to see, and who do you think is going to see different play rates on console and PC? See you all in a moment for what could be the last match. It is going to be map number 3 of ASI.net versus OCE Yungins.
Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
Yeah, there's no mercy in this world, just hunger thirsty persons in different versions. Each new update, that shit worsens. Why? Pull back the curtain and you'll see the different vermin. We all have different burdens that all seem to cause disturbance. Yo, so do me a favor, don't treat me like a neighbor. Don't need the different flavors of your problems just to savor. I've got my own issues, I need a comb to get through. Don't need to groan with you, just go get your own tissue.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
That's it, the end of the song. Next time you'll sing along. Trust me, there's nothing wrong. I just need to carry on, cause society's a myth put there to make you sit. Listen to what they give. Don't ask questions, shut your lid. Yeah, don't ask questions, shut your lid. I need to run away from this and go get off the grid. Feel like my brain is overloaded, man, I'm losing it. Don't let them tell you what to do, man, they don't know shit.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for map number 3, what could be the last one in this best of 5. As ASI.net, who are on defense in Shin Shibuya, are currently sitting at a 2-0 over OCE Yungins. OCE Yungins, though, they have found their way out of a situation this rough before. But can they do so again? Strange protected. Magneto continuously bad. Yungins, they did do better in that last map. They did have a much better push going for them once that time's Magneto was removed. Hela continuously removed by ASI.net. Very familiar here. Luna Snow protected. And we will see that Hulk removed. Star-Lord consistently banned away. ASI.net keeping it simple with their ban so far.
The right heroes could make all the difference.
Kiwis currently hovering over a Winter Soldier. Interesting. Ranga is back on the Hawkeye and Sus on the Venom. Now, this isn't that silly here. Sus seems to like those backline dive characters and, of course, Hela. But the ability to adjust a little bit here with Hela out of play. Black Panther, the big objective is to dive the backline and get eliminations. Venom, the strategy is dive the backline and cause a distraction for your team. So it's a very similar idea, get in, get out. At least the idea is just harass the backline.
Stay strong.
And Asai.net, gonna give it a go. Or will they? Currently AFK in spawn. There we go, moving out. Yungins, Crypts, back on that Punisher. OBD, bringing out the Namor, or at least hovering it. Namor is very sensible if you're going against someone like a Spider-Man or a Black Panther or someone like that. Venom, though, very tanky. Can cause big issues for a Namor because even with that stacked up damage from that Oceanic Dominion, you can still get absolutely bodied when you are being pressured on the backline due to how hard it is to eliminate Venom. Making the push-up. Oceanic Dominions into the choke point. Frozen Spawn as well. Really trying to pile on the pressure at this early stage. Crypts, do we have a culling turret? No. Low ground positioning right now. There's the harass. Coming in from Sus. Low ground positioning, no culling turret. They're, of course, on attack, not defense, so it's not too surprising. Gets caught by Ranga Lives Matt with one of the arrows. They try to make the plays. They're also trying to take out these Loki clones. There's a lot of damage being traded out here, but the positioning is being taken by Asai.net, especially with Kiwis landing that bionic hook, able to pick up one. Mr. Piglet down as well, wants to grab Phantom and will do so with the help of Calzes. Tries to hook in one more, cannot find them. And this is the power of the Winter Soldier, one of the only characters outside of Wolverine who can isolate a character from their team and pull them out of their positioning. Remove a tank from their healers. Remove a strategist from the backline. Remove a slightly too aggressive duelist if you can find the angle. Here it comes, Bionic Hook, pulls in the Lunar Snow, Soldier's Fist for the damage, and here comes the Kraken Impact, but does not find the elimination, forced to back away. Opats playing hyper-aggressive, has the Eye of Agamotto. Frenzied arrival from Sus with the Feast from the Abyss for the extra damage. Crypts and Mr. Piglet are down. Kiwis will fall to Phantom. And Opats, slightly over-aggressive by the looks of it, does get cleaned up. And Yungins, they need to be moving now. This is their one chance to get onto the point. And OBD was able to dash in there with the Shuriken dash. Sus taken out. And Yungins taking advantage of their moment. Portal to try and buy time. Eye of Agamotto blocked out with a beautiful shield by Phantom. Groot Wall to trap them in the spawn so that they can finish off the point. Beautifully done here by Yungins. Utilizing the Groot Wall, saving their Eye of Agamotto and using the final judgment from Crypt instead to set that up. Top D's on point, and the protection. Here comes Dancing the Butterfly by OBD, basically in the enemy spawn, takes out Nap Time, forced to double dash away though. Gains some damage onto Opats. Ranga Lives Matt up on the high ground, dropped low, sniped from the side by Crypts. Opats also dropping low, is a little bit too far up, being forced to pull back. Top D's making some heavy pressure right now. Needs to set up a wall to try and split Opats away from the team. Will do so. Blocks the healing to Opats. They try to focus him down. Opats gets the healing with the regeneration domain, but only barely gets out of there as Phantom up high. Eye of Agamotto. Oh! Catches most of the backline. Wants that Hawkeye if they can. Really wants it. Finally gets it. Hawkeye and Loki both down. They're also going to get Opats. Phantom with the aggressive play here. Asai, point blank with the Kraken impact, but does not find their target. Gets picked off, and OCE Yungins are continuing to push in, looking for point number 2. Getting harassed from multiple angles, though. Hunter sight from Rangaliv's Matt, immediately getting a good hit onto OBD. Sus, once again, causing a distraction in the backline. Big shield to give the antagonist. Can't see anything thanks to Cloak and Dagger. Frenzied arrival. Harassing the backline. I have Agamotto focusing onto Crips, but the Eternal Bond and the Fate of Both Worlds is letting them tag through this. Top D's gets the root with the straggling prison, splits the team. Here comes the Dance of the Butterfly from Calzes, who got the clone with the God of Mischief, able to get Crips, but finds no one else left alone, and point 2 will be claimed by Yungins.
They hit a checkpoint. Now might be a good time to stop them.
And once again, Yungins, with their backs against the wall, in the worst possible situation, down 2-0 in the lower bracket. Yungins, for the second series in a row, say absolutely not. And the push keeps going. Crips. Final Judgment at the ready. Eternal Bonds, Dance of the Butterfly, all at the ready. Soul Rejuvenation, all that's currently there for Asai. There's the Frenzied Arrival. Shield gonna be activated, keeping Sus alive. They're trying to focus them down. There's the Soul Rejuvenation to try and keep them going. Nap time, deep in the backline, and they just ran at them. They just used the healing ultimate from the Mantis and just ran at Yungins, and successfully so, able to clean them out. But Yungins were able to hold on to the majority of their ultimates there, being patient, knowing that they have 2 minutes to go. They'd rather get wiped here and take another opportunity when they're closer to the point. Kraken impact at the ready. Hunter's sight at the ready. Phantom pressuring up here. The cart creeping back here down to its static location. But they've been able to reach it. Activated once again. This terrain is a little busted, just so you guys know it's a little bugged. The players cannot see it. It's not blocking them in any way. I am Agamotto. Regeneration Domain shuts it down. Phantom getting blasted here. The Final Judgment shut down. Rangaliv's Matt, but still 4 members of Yungins have fallen here. They still have 3 ultimates, but Asai.net did that without burning a single one. And suddenly, what looked like it might have been one more push for Yungins has turned into what could be their last push.
Step aside.
Top D's, straggling prison. Eternal Bond, Fate of Both Worlds. That's all they have, Crypt. Last second swap. Bringing out the Psylocke and the Black Panther. Hunter's sight. Portal in the backline for Opads. Grabs 2, trying to get onto him. Focuses the Lunar Snow to remove the support. Nap time with the Soul Rejuvenation. Kraken impact. Trying to find a reset, doesn't get one, has the Soldier's Fist to get out. They may have overextended here. Asai.net, lose 2. OBD goes down to Opads. Top D's has held on to that straggling prison here. They utilize the Eternal Bond, but they still have Fate of Both Worlds. They're about to have Dance of the Butterfly. Here comes Feast from the Abyss. Onto the backline, trying to get Notorious done with the healing output from the Cloak and Dagger. A little bit too much. Calzes has the God of Mischief as Sus has to swing away. Frenzied Assault, Frenzied Arrival. Backing out, giving them the space. Top D's falls. That's a disaster with 10 seconds to go. Do they have the time now to make a play? Blast Descent. Dance of the Butterflies. Fate of Both Worlds. Giving everything they can to try and hold this.
Keep fighting until we have a winner.
Phantom has to tank this. They took out Nap Time. They're still making momentum. They know that Doctor Strange is up there. Opads does not have the Eye of Agamotto, but has the fear in them. Calzes holding on. Needs to clone. No, goes down. Top D Enquiries making the way in, strangling Prison! Splits the team in two, focuses them down, but the healing output from nap time is too much, holding them back. Eternal bond from Mr. Piglet. The walls are set up by top teams to buy them time, but that is sus in the backline. Kraken impact! Trying to end it, trying to clear it out here. Reset one, again, the portal, excuse me, where are you? Going back through, get back to their team, blocked by the portal here. Gets the reset though, and it's gonna be a cleanup by Asai.net. Crypt made one last attempt, and Mr. Piglet cannot make it in time. 2 points, 114.6 meters, 94 centimeters away.
You'll need a top-notch
An incredible push by Yungins. Incredible compared to the first two games. That was gorgeous. But now Asai.net, pressure's on. They now have not a good situation. They've got to push that far. That is a long way to go. But they have one sense of peace. That if they get that triple cap, this is not going to be an overtime situation. They have avoided that risk. Magic being hovered by Opans. Currently a no Vanguard composition being hovered by Asai. They have the time. They have matches to burn. They can afford to lose here. They can take risks. They have the lead. Yungins, they have to just do everything in their power. They are once again sticking with the 2-2-2. Crips up on the high ground.
4, 3, 2,
Positioned himself as the initial burst for the team. Opans. Scouting from the roof. Interesting. Don't see that too often.
our enemies are here.
And dropping in to make sure they're frontlining for the team. Root Walls splits the team a little bit there. Just from Madness at the ready. Blocked mostly by the shield. Dropped down to half health here. Kiwi's already taken out here. The solo Vanguard composition right now for Asai.net. Just Opans, solo Vanguard, triple duelist, but they're able to take down Phantom. Notorious getting burst down on the side. Crypt able to get two though. And that might give Yungins the opportunity to step back on the point here. Big damage being dropped though. Black Panther fight. Sus goes down. The assistance there from Kiwi's. Sorry, from Crypt. Opans goes down. Nap time. Big focus. Lot of damage being dealt. Will back away. They are just backline assassin right now. Nap time. On this Mantis. Doing damage. Trying to melt through everyone in their way. There's the soul rejuvenation here. Keeping the team topped up. Portal comes in to get everyone back into this fight.
I'm ready to put on a show.
But they will go down. Opans trying to buy time. They're about to have Aya Magamoto. No one knows they're there. Aya Magamoto comes out, but the Fate of Both Worlds is still going. But while the team is stunned, once that Fate of Both Worlds ends, they're able to pick up the elimination. Ranga Lives Matt is trying to pick off the scraps here as everyone is so low. 1, 2, 3. That is going to be Ranga Lives Matt picking up with help the triple elimination. And Asai.net begin their push towards Tier 2. Lead still very heavily in favor of Yungins as they begin to make their way back. Top D straggling Prison at the ready. Phantom very nearly charged up with that Aya Magamoto. Straggling Prison solo onto Ranga Lives Matt, but there's immediately a Loki coming out with the regeneration domain, and Ranga Lives Matt able to double jump back out of there, but still picked off by Crypt on the backline, who is cleaning house right now. Looking for more, looking for Opans, but does not win the 1v1. Opats barely gets out of there. Needs some healing. Will finally start getting some. Making their way forward. Good bionic hook by Kiwis. Opening up the front line. Darts and a butterfly though. OBD. Shuts down another push there. Takes out Nap Time and Rangaliv's Matt. Will go down to Sus though. Sus utilizing the vertical mobility as well, but chased down here. Bionic hook not landing. Kiwis trying to just burst through anyone they can reach here. Tainted Shock. Hunter's Sight for Rangaliv's Matt. But the Groot walls are making it very difficult for them to land here. And being pressured by a Black Panther will not be easy either. Regeneration Domain keeps them topped up. Kraken Impact. Reset 1. Looking for 2, but escaping Cloak and Dagger. Got it with the headshot. Reset 2, 3, 4. One more for good luck. No, loses the reset. But finding the headshot on Cloak and Dagger just as they are about to step around the corner. Soldier's Fist. And OBD popped here. Sus, not in the best position, but will dash away. Opat's pushing up. 2 minutes to go to reach point number 2. Soul Resurgence. Making their way in with the extra protection. Getting good protection, but there's Topsies dropping the straggling prison to buy a little bit of time for the team. Sus trying to burst down these backline members, but can't seem to get the full hit. Regeneration Domain allowing SI.net to tank through, and Yungins losing 2 members are forced off the point, and point 2 is approaching. Will anyone be able to step up? Topsies on the way. Bar started descending, but then ceased. Notorious Don grabs a double there. SI.net cleaned out here. Opat's backing out, but there's nothing they can do there.
I'm gonna miss that wizard.
Drago is almost certainly going to fall as well there. They know it. They're just going to take the damage. Just let the elimination happen. They know there's no chance of just wasting it here.
60 seconds left.
They'd rather just get eliminated, rejoin their team, and potentially, if they have to, go for a portal play. They'll need it, though. They have enough time. Crypt in the backline, drops low, chased down, gets a map heal, gets out of there. Nicely done. I am Agamotto, Kraken Impact, Hunter's Sight. These abilities available for Asai.net. Dance and the Butterfly, Eternal Bond, Fate of Both Worlds for Yungins. Down goes Crypt, Dance on the Butterfly from OBD, trying to get to the backline. Kiwis with the bionic hook, gets the pickup. Nap Time with the final hit. Opat's getting walled off, but they've got 18 seconds, making their way in. Kiwis, Kraken Impact, managed to hit Strange, managed to hit quite a few members there, but no one is going down. The tankiness, a little bit too much with that Fate of Both Worlds for the moment. Hunter's Sight from Rangaliv's Matt to try and zone him out. Guess Mr. Piglet. Fate of Both Worlds about to expire. I am Agamotto #1 coming in from Opats. Phantom, I am Agamotto #2 for the counter. For the turnaround as we see Crypts coming in from behind to try and clean them out here to give them the counter push. Kauzis has the clone. Burst is sent from the Loki clone. God of Mischief. They get a clean up. It's going to be 3, 4, 5. And Mr. Piglet barely making it back from spawn. Chase back. Mr. Piglet goes down. The cart moves in overtime. And we are heading to point number 3 just around the corner. As Asai.net, the portal comes in. They held it. This is very little overtime left. They've got to keep touching it. OBD, the first one to fall here. No ultimates for either team, but Crypt just got theirs. Blast is sent! Cleans out one. Nap Time goes down, but they're still finished off by Opats. Point 2 taken. And Yungins. Worst fears are coming true. With 1 minute 20 left on the clock, Yungins have to stop the triple cap or their tournament life is over. As we go for a bit of a reset here. Opats Continues to pressure up Sus, as we saw. Off to the side. Crypts wrapping around from behind. Would love to take out Calzes here. Misses the spear. Gets the double dive, but forces out the regeneration domain. Got a little bit of that terrain bug once again. Opats going up and over because they have the Eye of Agamotto coming in, trying to look for the cloak and dagger, but they're tagging through. Mr. Piglet Notorious will fall though. They got both the strategists. Phantom goes down. Crypts is trying to get Rangaliv's mat, dropped to half, running out, gets the pickup, but now their team is losing the point. The portal block coming in from Opats. And Phantom, they try to make it, but they are blocked. The time is against them here as the cart is moving, getting huge extra distance. Crypt trying to keep touching that cart to stop the movement here. Will go down. Portal expires. Team is out. We are in overtime. Those extra seconds were big for Asai.net, but it comes down to one final team fight here. Eye of Agamotto about to be ready, straggling Prison, but they tag through it with the protection from Opats. Phantom has the Eye of Agamotto, but they've already lost OBD, and Notorious. Eye of Agamotto going to come out, but it's mostly boxed by the shield. Hunter's side to try and tag through, and it's a cleanup. Asai.net melt through them here. Bastard set not even used. Calzes with the second soul resurgence, and Asai.net clean them out.
3, 2, 2.
Asai.net will take the series in a 3-0. OCE Yungins, valiant performance, valiant comeback attempt, but a little bit too late. Incredible play. Crypts, 22 final hits, 26 eliminations, 30 for Phantom, 55k damage block, 79 for Top D's, 56k and 44k healing. The work was done. But unfortunately, OCE Yungins will now be eliminated and will have to try again in Season 1, Eternal Night Falls. Asai.net, though, they are victorious and they will move on to the lower bracket quarterfinals. And we will find out who their opponents are day after tomorrow, I believe. Yeah, day after tomorrow, because tomorrow's match is going to be OCE versus Slither Edge, loser of which will be playing against Phasmophobes in the other lower bracket quarterfinal. And the day after tomorrow will be Hope versus PS4 Group. Now that's interesting, because Asai.net were actually knocked down to the lower bracket by PS4 Group. So if PS4 Group lose to Hope, we could see a bit of a rematch coming in there. Interesting. But that is all information and speculation for a couple days' time. For now, though, I hope you've all enjoyed the cast today. I've enjoyed bringing it to you. I'm going to go rest my voice again. I think I'm getting better. I think I'm approaching the point where I'm starting to get better. So I hope you've all enjoyed yourselves. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Leave a comment. As I said, who do you think is going to be the important players in Season 1, and which ones will be different between console and PC? You're all smart. The comments you leave are pretty bloody intelligent. So let me know. Give me that knowledge. No man is an island. And I appreciate all my trade routes of knowledge. For now, though, I have been Tetcher. Remember, like, comment, subscribe. If you want to support me, ring the bell. If you want to support me monetarily, hit the join button and maybe send a super thanks if you don't want to do something reliably or be tied into yet another freaking subscription service. So yeah, those. So go on my socials. They're in the description. So say hello. Tweet at me. What is Blue Skies called? I don't know. Butterflap. Do what the Blue Sky thing is. Post. I don't know. Do something on there. Say hello. Follow the Twitch for when I'm eventually well enough to stream again. I want to do a thing. I got a great suggestion when I asked like what I'm to do after like the PC tournament was over, and someone suggested that I do like a viewer replays. And honestly, I'd really like to do that, but I think that's a stream activity as opposed to a YouTube activity because it can be a little less structured there. So let's see if I can plan that once my throat is better again. So fingers crossed for that. But for now, everybody, thank you all very much for watching. I hope you've all enjoyed. IDs for the replays are in the description as well. There's 5. Because that way it's hidden so that if people look at the description first, they don't get spoiled. The other replays will be other random pro games. So thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.